Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavat Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yan Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So read the very first verse of the invocation of Bhashyakara. Om Narayanah Paro Vyakta Andamavyakta Sambhavam Andasyantastvime Lokaha Saptadvipa cha Medini. So as the Tikakar explained, Bhashyakara Shankaracharya commences the Bhashya of the Bhagavad Gita with a verse of invocation called Mangalacharana, which in this case is the nature of Ishta Devata Anusmaranam, of the nature of remembering one's Ishta Devata, meaning remembrance chosen deity, remembering Ishvara. There is no prarthana here. There is no, nothing has been asked for here, but it is implied. So you may perform Mangalacharanam also requesting some favor, praising, or simply remembering. Here, this Mangalacharanam begins with the word Narayana. So the verse describes Narayana Parah Avyaktat. Narayana Avyaktat Parah. Lord Narayana is superior to, greater than the substratum of Avyakta. Avyakta means unmanifest, or Prakriti, or Maya. So understand that Prakriti or the matter does not enjoy the same degree of reality as Narayana. Narayana is consciousness, Brahman, and the Sankhyas would say that both of them enjoy the same degree of reality. He says, no, Narayana is substratum, and Prakriti is superimposition, mithya. However, all creation takes place from Prakriti in the presence of Narayana. In the 9th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Maya adhyakshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam. My adhyakshan is adhyaksha. I am just a witnessing presence or blessing presence. In my presence there is consciousness, Prakriti or my Maya gets enlivened. And all the potential of creation, sustenance, dissolution, all of that is in Prakriti or Maya. Itself is inert, insentient, therefore cannot do anything on its own. Only when it gets enlivened by the Lord, that's when the creation takes place. So that Prakriti, so then how does the creation take place? So says avyaktat so for avyaktat andam avyakta sambhavam. Under Brahmanda, the whole cosmos or the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranya means Hiranyagarbha, which is the totality of all the subtle bodies. So the way the creation explained is from the causal body to the subtle body to the gross body. Just as in the deep sleep we are observing the causal body. In a dream, subtle body. Waking state, gross body. So from the cause, the potential, how the creation first is half manifest and then full manifest. So this is our prakriya process of explaining creation. From cause to the effect, in between there is subtle state. So I call it Anda, call it Brahmanda, call it Hiranyagarbha, call it totality of all subtle bodies. First manifest from avyakta or Maya. Andasyantastu ime lokaha saptadvipacha medini. And within Brahmanda, Hiranyagarbha, all these lokas are there. The gross creation is there. Virat is there. So avyakta or Maya from the Hiranyagarbha, from the Virat. Maya, the universal cause. The Brahmanda, the totality of all subtle body. And Virat, the totality of all gross bodies. Just describing Narayana. Thereby saying that the topic of this Bhagavad Gita is Narayana. So Narayanam Samuha Naraha. The collection or the totality of all the Nara, the Jiva is called Naraha. So Narayanam Ayanam Narayana. One there is Ayanam. The goal, the destination is called Narayana. I mean, what all the Naras, all the Jivas are seeking. So one is the goal or destination of all the Jivas. Narayana. And also, so Naraha or Naraha Ayanam Yasyasa. And the one for whom all the Jivas are the dwelling place. One who dwells the self of all the Jivas, meaning the self of all, or one who is the goal or destination of all the Jivas, is Narayana, and that is the subject matter of this text. And who is it Narayana? Avyaktat Paraha. So Narayana also is explained as Ananda, because that's what the Jivas are seeking. So Paramananda or limitless happiness is Narayana. That's the goal, that's moksha. And also Narayana is beyond or transcends avyakta, transcends Maya, transcends matter. All the samsara is in the realm of Maya or avyakta or matter. Who is Narayana? The one that transcends the samsara, transcends all the misery. So Narayana is superior to Narayana, transcends the Avyakta, means that the goal is the cessation of all misery which is represented by Avyakta or Maya, and attainment of all happiness represented by Narayana. That is called moksha. So that's the prayojanam. So Vishaya prayojanam. Who is Adhikari? Who is the one for whom this Shastra is? One is the mumukshu, one who has the desire for moksha, one who has the viveka. What's the viveka? Or the first discernment in life, that what one is seeking in one's life is moksha. What one is seeking is the cessation of all the sorrow and attainment of all the happiness. That this is what I am seeking. Number two, that is not to be attained from anything that is matter, because matter is always limited. Matter cannot have happiness. And so what I am seeking is consciousness. And consciousness is self. And there's this understanding. What I am seeking is moksha, which is cessation of all sorrow, attainment of all happiness, which is the nature of consciousness, which is myself. And therefore, I have to discover that from myself, not from somewhere else. So that is how the mumukshu or a seeker of moksha becomes jignasu, because the self is already accomplished. So that can be accomplished through knowledge. That's how knowledge becomes the meaning. It becomes a jignasu, the desire of the knowledge of self. So jignasu is the adhikari. So this is how the first verse is a prayer verse for Lord Narayana. And as we said last time, what's the purpose of prayer? To help remove all the obstacles in the path. Also, when someone like Shankaracharya performs this kind of prayer called Mangalacharanam, it sets also a trend that this is how all the followers, disciples should do. Now, when it was said, also it was said that the sadhya sadhana bhutam nishtadvayam Gita Shastram. So the Gita Shastra is nishtadvayam, presents two nishtha or two commitments. Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prukta mayanagha jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. So karma yoga and jnana yoga, the life of involvement, engagement and disengagement, life activity and contemplation are the two nishthas or two committed lifestyles, which is subject matter of Bhagavad Gita called nishtadvayam, the twofold nishtha or the twofold commitment. What's the relationship between the life of active karma yoga and jnana yoga? Sadhya sadhana lakshanam. The karma yoga is the sadhanam, the means, and jnana yoga is sadhyam, the end. So it's not two separate nishtha. It is the two stage nishtha. Sadhana and sadhya, means and end. The means leads to the end. So karma yoga is the means, jnana yoga is the end. So therefore, subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita is of course Narayana. Primary moksha is the primary purpose. Narayana is the primary subject matter and is presented in the form of these two nishthas, sadhana and sadhya. Atra bhagavata pratipadyate. So this is what the Vedantin says. We discussed this last time. It is questioned by somebody. Huh? आवाज also है? Volume? I think we are alright. Yeah. So the question was, how do you say that this is what the Bhagavad Gita's topic is? Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, or these twofold nishtha, sadhana and sadhya. that this is what Lord Krishna propounds here. How did you arrive at that conclusion? Because look, Lord Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Narayana. You come close, this side there is some room here so you can see the Swami.
Thank you.
Go little further, they all.
So they can sit on the mat instead on the floor. You can still come further. Right in front of me. Closer you are, happier I am. So there is, look, Lord Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Narayana. How did the incarnation take place? It is described in Puranas that earth takes the form of a cow because earth is highly burdened by the sins of the demons. She goes to Brahmaji, the creator, and says, "Oh Lord, I don't feel the burden of the people or the mountains, but I feel the burden of the sins, and therefore, you please relieve that burden." So Brahmaji says, "I am the creator, my job is done. The job of doing this administration is Lord Vishnu, so let us go there." And so they all go to him and pray to him. And then Lord Narayana says, "Okay, I will take incarnation and you all also make preparations, etc." So meaning that, as the Puranas describe, the purpose of incarnation is to remove the burden of sin from the face of the earth. And Lord Krishna also describes the purpose of incarnation in the 4th chapter as paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. Paritranaya sadhunam, for protecting the good, vinashaya duskritam, for destroying the evil, dharma samsthapanarthaya, and for establishing dharma or order of righteousness. So that is described as the purpose of the incarnation. So the question here is, so Lord is primarily born to remove the sinners and protect the good ones, saints. And that is how dharma becomes established. So in Bhagavad Gita, what is the Lord propounding? To carry out the purpose of the incarnation, which is to destroy the evil and protect the good. Therefore, the main message of Bhagavad Gita is, Lord Krishna says, Tasmad Yudhyasva Bharata. He Bharata, therefore, may you take up this battle. Only when Arjuna fights the battle, then all these evils will be destroyed. Good will be protected, and Lord's karya of avatara will be done. So here the argument is, that appears to us the primary purpose of Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna is propounding in Bhagavad Gita is to ask Arjuna to fight the battle. That's how dharma will be established. How do you say that karma yoga and jnana yoga are the topics? So therefore, what is meant by dharma samsthapanam? Establishing dharma in what way? So they believe that establishing dharma is by removing adharma and protecting dharma. Whereas the Vedanta says that establishing dharma is by teaching what the right dharma is. And therefore, right dharma for human beings is pravritti and nivritti, activity and renunciation. And that's the means of moksha. So that is dharma samsthapanam. So they say that destroying the evil and protecting good is the main karya of Lord Krishna, and establishing dharma takes place by the way. Vedanta says that establishing dharma or teaching dharma is the primary thing, and that distraction stuff takes place by the way. So what is primary and what is secondary? So Vedanta says that purpose of Gita is not to propound or impel Arjuna to fight the battle, it is teach him what is karma yoga, what is jnana yoga. So this is what we saw last time. So with that in mind, so if you look at the page 2 of your handout, not your handout, our handout. Okay. In the second paragraph, the last three lines, Bhagavata hai, dharma samsthapana svabhavya dhravyat, dharma dvaya sthapanartham eva pradurbhav abhyavagamat. That for destroying the evil, etc., there is no great need for Lord to come down himself. That can be done by sankalpa, etc., and therefore, but then by sankalpa you cannot teach dharma. For teaching is to come down. The bhaktas would say that. Even bhakta also say that the primary purpose of Lord's incarnation is to bless the devotees. That's all they would say. Lift a little bit higher. They say it is to bless the devotee. See, Yashoda wanted Lord as her son, Arjuna wanted as his friend, and that Lord cannot do remaining there, so he is to come down. This is how bhaktas describe. The Vedanta didn't say that. He cannot do there, but teaching cannot do by being there. Therefore, the primary purpose of Lord Krishna's incarnation is to teach this. And therefore, bhuvara parihasya artikatvat, and by the way that the mission of destroying the evil etc. will take place by the way. Arjuna nimitti krutya, this is a teaching which is imparted to the whole mankind, where Arjuna becomes a nimitta, becomes an occasion. Adhikaranam swadharma pravartan dvara jnanishtham avatarayitum. This teaching applies to any adhikari, any sincere aspirant. He should know how to proceed in his life, how to go about the spiritual path to achieve the goal. And therefore the aspirant needs to be told, Nishtadvam, first is Karma Yoga, through which you get Antakarana Shuddhi, and then it's Jnana Yoga, through which you get knowledge. So that this must become very clear to the aspirants. Gita Shastrasya. So basically Jnana Nishtha is the primary topic. Karma Nishtha is sadhanam, and Jnana Nishtha is what is meant to be really taught to the aspirant, that you must abide in the knowledge. So Gita Shastrasya Pranitatva. So we first have to clarify why is this Gita Shastra composed, why is it taught. If that clarity is not there, then everybody approaches the scripture with their own perspective and gets that message. You know, what message do you want to get depends on your agenda. So if you want to get the message that the vice presidential proposal is such and such a great person and this, that's one, or he is a dishonest person. So you extract whatever you want out of that, you know. Everybody approaches things always with their own agenda. And they find enough justifications to justify the agenda. And so also here you can do that. So the need to clarify what is the real subject matter here. Idi parihar, that's what Bhashyakara first explains. So Bhashyakara first explains what is it that is sought to be taught here and why. So creates a background and then teaches here. So let us read now the first and in the second chapter of the Bhashya. Sa Bhagavan Srishtva idam jagate. Right in the beginning, right in the beginning. Right in the beginning, in your book. That's right. Tasya sthitim chikishuhu marichadin agre srishtva prajapatin pravritti lakshanam dharmam grahayamasa vedoktam. So again a question arises, which is raised in the page 3, first line. Tatra naidam Gita Shastram vyakhyatum uchitam. Question. Alright. Suppose Gita Shastra subject matter is decided that it is nishtadvayam, karma nishtha and jnana nishtha. Doesn't matter. But we do not think that this Gita Shastra is worth commenting upon. It does not deserve to be commented upon by someone like Bhashyakara. Why? Apta pranitatva anidharanat. It must prove itself to be an authentic scripture. That you see, someone like any tika, any Bhashyakara, commentator, will always want to comment upon something that is a pramanam, an authentic source of knowledge. Then alone he should proceed to write his commentary. Then alone we will study it. We want to study always the authentic source of knowledge and not just anything said by some Tom, Dick and Harry. Therefore, Bhashyakara first has to prove that the teacher of Bhagavad Gita is reliable, authentic, infallible. He is praman. He is the valid source of knowledge. So, apta pranitatva nirdharanat. First of all, therefore, before proceeding further, you must establish that the teacher of Bhagavad Gita is apta. Apta means the one who is learned, well informed, trustworthy, and a well-wisher. So this Shabda, Aptavakyam, or the testimony of a learned person, also is considered to be a pramanam, a valid means of knowledge. When that person is Apta. Apta means what? One who is, I said, learned, well-meaning, honest. That person who doesn't have any personal agenda, his words alone are reliable. So we first have to establish that the teacher of Bhagavad Gita qualifies being apta, then alone his words will be considered pramanam. So we accept 6 pramanam, means of knowledge. So pratyaksha and anumanam and upamanam and anupalabdhi and what is it, ashabhati and shabda. What is shabda? Shabda means aptavakya. The testimony or statements of apta. So we must establish that Lord Krishna is apta. But you have not yet established that. So how do we proceed to comment upon it? Tatha vida shastrantaravata. Therefore, any other scripture also of which the authenticity is not established is not worth commenting upon. Meaning Gita Shastra should prove itself to be worth commenting upon. You follow? And alone, Bhashyakara should comment, and even if you comment, then we will study it. Mangalacharana uddeshyam darshayan uddeshyam darshayan adau shastra pranetu aptatva nirdharanartham. So why did Bhashyakara started Mangalacharanam or prayer with word Narayana first? Uddeshyam darshayan. That Narayana is what is the subject matter here. And Narayana is the one who is the teacher of Bhagavad Gita also. That's why the word Narayana was placed here first. Shastra pranetu aptatva nirdharanartham. The one who has composed or taught the Gita Shastra is apta, is reliable, authentic. Sarvajñatvadi pratigñapurvakam. Whose words can be trusted? One who is knowledgeable. But for someone like Brahma Vidya, what should be knowledgeable? He must be all-knowing, Sarvajña. So Sarvajñatvadi pratigñapurvakam, that the teacher of Bhagavad Gita is omniscient. Lord Himself. How do you say He is omniscient? How do you say Bhagavan is omniscient? All-knowing. Sarva Jagat Niyantritvam. Janayitritvam. Sarva Jagat Janayitritvam. That Lord Narayana is the cause of the creator of the whole universe. The creator must necessarily have the knowledge of what is to be created. And therefore, who is the teacher of Bhagavad Gita? Lord. Who is the Lord? The creator. And creator must have all the knowledge. He must be omniscient. Meaning that the teacher of Bhagavad Gita is all-knowing, omniscient, never apt, paramapta. The supremely learned one, supremely qualified to impart this teaching. So therefore, Bhashya is Sava. Who is Saha? That is Uddeshya. That is Narayana. So, Sa Bhagavan Srishtvaidam begins with the pronoun Saha. So that Saha means that. That represents something that is well known. You can't start your statement with the pronoun because who is that? But that is because already the prayer verse is stated, which is pertaining to Narayana and that Narayana. Sa Bhagavan Srishtva idam jagat. That Lord having created this universe. That is why Narayana is presented as the creator. The verse said Narayana transcends Avyakta. From Avyakta the Hiranyagarbha. From Hiranyagarbha to Virat, meaning Narayana is the cause of the universe. What cause? In Vedantic language, he is the Vivarta Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Primary creator is Maya. Both material cause also is Maya, and you can say consciousness is indirectly Nimitta Karana, but all causality is always in Maya. In a secondary sense, we can say that Ishvara also is cause because, as you said, without the consciousness, Maya cannot do anything. And therefore, Ishvara is what we call Abhinna Nimitta Upadana, is both the maker and the material. Saha Bhagavan, so first verse presented Bhagavan as the cause of creation. So referring to that Bhagavan. Srishtva edam jagat, having created, because first already said that he is the Jagat, he is the creator. Then you can say Srishtva edam jagat, having created the universe. So, says the Tika, Prakruto Narayanakhyo Deva Sarvajña Sarveshwara. The one thing about the Creator is Sarvajña, all-knowing, as well as he is all-powerful. And therefore he is Niyanta, he is ordainer. So Sarvajña Sarveshwara. He is the Lord of all that is created. Samastam viprabhacham utpadya vyavasthita. Created the whole universe and then he is abides in his own self. Nacha tasya anapta. Then Narayana cannot be untrustworthy. Who is the whole, who is omniscient and the Lord of the whole universe. That Narayana is not only apta, not only informed, paramapta. He is the informer of the informer, Aptasya apta. Ishvara anugrahitanam aptatva siddhya tasya paramaptatva siddhe. In fact, we look upon the sages also as apta, such as Vedavyasa, such as Vasishtha. Even those words also we accept as praman. But what makes sage Vasishtha and Vyasa trustworthy? Their knowledge. And who is the cause of their knowledge? Narayana. So Narayana, on account of whom even such sages as Vedavyasa, Vasishtha are apta, he is Paramapta. Pavitranam pavitram yo mangalanam cha mangalam. If this thing, if Ganga can purify you, because of whom? The purity, that which imparts the capacity to purify, purification to Ganga. So the one who imparts the capacity to aptatvam, being well informed even to sages, he is Paramapta. Natasya anapta. So you cannot question the authenticity of the teacher of Bhagavad Gita because he is none other than Narayana, who is the creator or the maker of the whole universe and ever omniscient and omnipotent. Nanu Bhagavata Sushtamapi Chaturvanyadi Visishtam Hiranyagarbha Lakshanam Jagat Na Vyavasthitim Asthatum Shakyate Vyavasthabaka Abhavat. Alright. So, Sa Bhagavan Srishtva Jagat, that Bhagavan created the universe, alright. Question is that even if Bhagavan has created the universe, so what? How is he created? Chaturvanyadi Visishtam. Lord Krishna will say in the 4th chapter, Chaturvanyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasah. I have created the universe consisting of Chaturvarnam, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, to each of whom the tasks or the duties were assigned according to their disposition, gunas. Alright? Hiranyagarbhadi Lakshanam Jagat, and that which is the manifestation of Hiranyagarbha. This Jagat na vyavasthitim asthatum shakyate. But unless vyavasthapaka, unless there is someone to administer this creation, the creation will not work properly. See, it is not enough that you have a setup. You must have someone to be able to run that setup also. Is it not so? You must have the manager, the leader. Otherwise, the whole setup by itself, setup cannot work. Setup will work only when there is someone who makes sure that it works. So, Vyavasthapaka. So, Narayana created and is sleeping. So, he will take care of this universe. So, he should create a Vyavasthapaka, means a manager, create the executive to carry out that. So, we have to lift this a little bit. Okay. So, this and that one is to be tightened. Right? Okay, good. Then why? But Narayana himself is the Vyavasthapaka. If Narayana has created the universe, he is the one who will manage it. No, naja prasyeva ishvarasya vyavasthapakatvam. See, Narayana himself cannot be the ruler, cannot be the executive. You know what an executive, what a manager is? He has to make unpleasant decisions. And he has to sometimes punish some people. So he destroys the evil and he protects the good, and so he is cruel to somebody, he is partial to somebody else, whoever does the administration. The administrator has to, you cannot be equal to everybody. In his heart he may be equal, but as far as the administration is concerned, there is always a vyavastha, a rule must be there. Whoever follows the rule has to be always favored, and who violates the rule has to be straightened out, otherwise it won't work. So Bhagavan cannot do that because he is equal to all. He can't say that this is a demon, therefore I will kill him, and he can't do that. Therefore, so Vaishamyadi Prasangat, will say Bhagavan has created, he has created somebody good, somebody bad, he is cruel to somebody, he is partial to somebody else. So himself cannot be the executive. Therefore, Bhashya is Tachidasthidhim Chikirshuhu. Lord, having created the universe also, desires of its stability. So when you create something, you must also make sure that it will function properly. No use of doing something which will not function properly. So you must make arrangement of its functioning. Tasya sthitim chikishu. Alright, so what did he do? Says the Tika, Srishtasya jagataha maryada vahitatve shankide tadiyam vyavastham kartam icchan. So Lord has created, but he feels that it is possible that if there is nobody to really administer, nobody to rule, then slowly people will start taking liberties. Dharma is such a thing, always requires self-restraint. As our Swami says, there is always a choice between what is right and what I like, in every situation. And so that temptation, what I like, is always strong. And unless we exhibit a self-restraint to restrain what I like and do what is right, dharma is not possible. Dharma requires that we should do what is right, and more often than not, what I like is not what is right. All the food that we like is no good for us, lot of things, and similarly, what I like is, I like to get married to that one. But that's not right. You belong to this caste, you must be married here. No, I won't. No, that won't. Somebody must be there to make sure that that doesn't happen. Never. So, tadiyam vyavastham kardamichan, to make sure that the people are disciplined. He should be disciplined first himself and establish a discipline and keep people in discipline. So he must have power also. Discipline, you may say, do this, and nobody may do it. People, hey, do this. Nobody listens to that fellow. He must have the power also to do that. That is how vyavastha is possible. Vyavasthapakam alovachya. So Lord, when He created the universe, also deliberated upon what should I do in order to maintain the vyavastha or the order. Kshatrasyapi kshatratvena prasiddham dharvam tathavido dharvam adhigamya srishtavan ityartha. Then first of all, kshatriyas are created. They are the leader. Kshatriya is the leader class. All managers and executives must be kshatriyas. They must be karma yogis. They must have the power. They must have the vision. They must have leadership. Must have right decisions. That is kshatriya. So, kshatrasyapi kshatratvena prasiddham dharvam tathavido dharvam adhigamya srishtavan. So first he created kshatriyas to make sure that everything functions properly. So Bhashya said, Marichadin agre sushtva prajapatin. So Marichi, and this, all Puranas describe how Prajapatis, means lords of the Praja, lords of the human beings are created. So Marichi and others are the Prajapati. All right. Srishtasya dharmasya sadhyatva bhavataya sadhayitaramantарena asambhavat taseva tad anushthatatva anabhivagamat prani bhedanam adhara prayanam tadayoga kutastadya srishtidya ashankya. This is, of course, will go on and on, and if I read every sentence, but then every sentence is an express, a beautiful thing, Srishtasya dharmasya sadhyatva bhavataya. See, dharma is something that is to be practiced. Dharma cannot happen by itself. Sadhya meaning that you have to accomplish it, you have to practice it. Sadhitaramantara asambhavat. Everybody is required to practice dharma, and unless there is someone who makes sure that I practice it, the practice of dharma will not be possible. See, management principles are very clear here, isn't it? Principles of management are very clear here. Tasyeva tat anushthatratva anabhivagamat. I cannot restrain I need somebody else to restrain me. Ideally, I should follow dharma and restrain myself, but there are always limits, the temptations are always. So somebody must be there to make sure that I do. Therefore, a person himself, can't rely upon a person to do everything right. We do that. Then later on we recognize so many things happen in between, We thought he is a dependable person. So we relied upon him. And then someday you find that he is gone, So that was somebody else must be there always to control. Prani Bhedanam Adharma Pranam Tad Ayogat. Mostly people are Adharma Prayaha. Mostly Tamas and Rajas always prevail. And therefore, the tendency to violate is always greater than the tendency to follow the Dharma. Kutastadiya Srishti. Therefore, how will you, so how is that the Srishti will be? So, Marichadin Pravrutti Lakshanam Grahayamasa Vedoktam. So, Lord created Marich in others and made them follow. Grahayamasa, made them follow the Dharma of Pravrutti. Means activity, action. So, Marich in others, first of all, should follow the Dharma and then make others follow. So, this is also a rule of management that you must set an example. I mean, you cannot demand from other people they should do and they look at you also. They'll now get all history of everybody, What did you do when you were this, when you were this, and I think you took this, and you took this gifts, and you went there, and all kinds of things. So when you want to be an executive, you must always set everything an example. And therefore, Grahayamasa. He first created the leader of Kshatriyas called Prajapati, Marichi and others and made them follow the Dharma of Veda, which is the Pravrutti Lakshana Dharma. Sadhya and Sadhanam. So Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So Acharyas for Karma Yoga, Acharyas for Jnana Yoga. Twofold Dharma is there. There were twofold administrators are there. So says the Tika, Marichadiniti Tesham Bhagavata Srishtanam Praja Srishti Hetunam Yagadanadi Pravrutti Sadhyam Dharma Anushthadum Adhikritanam Swakiyatvena Tat Upadanam Upannam Ityartha. Tesham Bhagavata Srishtanam. Maricha and thus were created by God Himself. Why did God create them? To further create. So He created the primary creator and then subsequent creation went through Maricha and others. So Praja Srishti Hetuna. Yagadanadi Pravrutti Sadhyam Dharmam Anushthadam Adhikritanam. Then you also must have qualification to perform the Dharma. Everybody is not qualified to do everything. So who should be leader? Who himself is qualified to perform the Dharma. What is Dharma? Yajna, Dana, Tapas, Karma. Yajna, Dana, Tapasarya, all of these are the Dharma that the leader must first follow. So says here, Yaga, Dana, the Pravrutti, Sadh, all that equal, that is Pravrutti. So Dharma of the nature of Pravrutti or action. So what is action? Yajna, Dana, Tapaha, that's action. Adhikritanam Swakiyatvena Tad Upadana Upannam. And therefore, these Marichanas are qualified to follow the Dharma of Pravrutti and therefore they follow and they can make others follow. Where did you get this Dharma? Chaitya Vandanadi Visheshatam Dharmam. There are so many Dharma Shastras are there. Chaitya Vandanam always comes. Chaitya is a Jain temple or Buddha temple. And so they are also Dharma. That everybody should go to temple and do this and that and so. Is that what you are talking about? No, not that. That these fellows don't accept the traditionalists. Vedoktam. Lord Krishna says, Bhashya says, Vedoktam. Dharma that is taught by the Veda. That is the real Dharma. And that is for Pravrutti Dharma or Dharma of activity. Maricha and others were created, that they first follow and they also implement it. Nana etavada jagat ashesham vyavasthapayitum shakyate pravrutti margasya puruk dharmapari niyatatvevi nivritti margasya tena vyavasthapana ayogatvat. Still, pravrutti is not the only thing in the life. There is nivritti also. There are a few rare people Most people are good for pravritti, but there are a few rare also who have got the state of mind for living a contemplative life. These people cannot do that. These people who are the leaders of pravritti cannot help the people who need nivritti. And therefore, nivritti margasya tena vyasthapan ayogyatva. So you must have somebody else who is qualified to guide the people who want nivritti or contemplative life. So Shankara says, Tataha anyamscha sanaka sanandanadi utpadya nivritti dharmam jnana vairagya lakshanam grahayamasa. Tata anya, other than this means other in disposition, not just other kshatriyas. Tata anya. So Sanaka Sanandana, these are all the Sanaka Sanandana, well known as the Nivritti Dharma Acharya. You know the Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, Sanatana, there are 4 Sanat Kumaras. They are what we call the Manasa Putras, or they were created by Brahma, the creator, by his mind only, Sankalpa. So these 4 Sanat Kumaras are created, and Brahma is very busy in the process of creation. He invites them, you please join me. They said, no, we are not interested in pravritti. Your first revolt, right then, in the beginning of creation, we think that is happening today, it's there, right then. They said, no, we will not join you. Children says to the father, we will not join you. They walked away. Meaning that they were born with the very nature of nivritti or vairagya. They are born with vairagya. So deeply rooted in vairagya or dispassion that they just cannot make them, cannot get around to doing pravritti. I'm supposed to speak slowly, that's all it is, nothing else. And therefore, you require, so Sanat Kumaras represent the nivritti. And so, I have them. Tata anyamscha sanaka sanandanadin utpadya nivritti dharmam. So, nivritti is a dharma, a lifestyle characterized by nivritti, contemplation, inward looking. How do you say that this person is nivritta? Nivritti doesn't mean that he doesn't walk about. No, nivritti means the state of mind. See, pravritti also is a state of mind, and nivritti also is a state of mind. A person can be meditating and still pravritti, we talk things of always the sense object and stuff like that. It's the state of mind. A mind that thinks of the external things is pravritta, and mind that contemplates upon Ishvara or the self is nivritta. And so, how do you recognize a nivritta? Nivritti rupasya dharmasya shamadhamadhyatmano gamakam aha. So, what is nivritti? Shama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam. Shama means tranquility of the mind. Dhamma means a control over one's senses. Totally disciplined person. Together the person. Uparama, one whose mind is abiding in the self. Titiksha, one has all the forbearance to put up with any kind of pain or inconveniences that come. Doesn't react, doesn't retaliate. Shraddha, one who has a total faith or trust in the scriptures and the teacher. Samadhanam, one who enjoys the single pointedness of the mind. So this state of mind is called nivritti. So mind that enjoys this disposition is mind. Nivritti means disengagement. So Bhashya said, Jnana vairagya lakshanam. So for Prajapati, pravritti lakshanam. For For Sanat Kumara, Jnana Vairagya Lakshanam. Lakshanam is characterized by Jnana and Vairagya. So Jnana can be there where there is Vairagya. So knowledge is there and Vairagya, dispassion is there. That is why we say that Dharya Acharya is Nivritti Dharma. Says Viveka Vairagya Atishay Samadhi Atishayo Gamyate Tata Vivekadi Tasya Gamakam. So this Samadhama is a state of mind. How do you know it's there? How do you know a person enjoys Samadha? Because it's in the mind. Says therefore Viveka Vairagya Atishay. The Viveka is evident from the behavior of the person. Vairagya is also evident from his approach and everything else. So that is evident to us. Whether the person is Viveka and Vairagya or not is evident to us. From that we infer that he also must be enjoying the tranquility of the mind. So this is what Lord did for making sure that the universe that He has created functions smoothly. Then He can afford to sleep. Our gods are all sleeping or meditating, that's all they do. Brahma also meditates and Shiva also meditates. So then also everything takes place. So as our Swami says, you don't have to bat an eyelid to do anything. So that is called the fullness. That's the strength that is there of the knowledge and fullness and love. Dharme bhavidam vivada darshanat jagatah sthemne karnivu dharmantarapi sastam asti ashankya. Now what is dharma? Lots of debates are there, in India also, always. What is dharma? What's the right thing to do? That's the reason why there used to be the Vidvat Sabhas. All these Kumbh Mela, etc., and many other assemblies used to be there. Kumbh Mela came later on maybe, but then always used to be assembly of the rishis and learned people to debate or to deliberate upon what is dharma. Therefore, they would come with the right code of conduct, which is applicable to that time and place and condition, because that changes. So even though the spirit is the same, the form has to change from time to time. And what is the form? How to interpret dharma? So principles are all Sanatana Dharma taught by Vedas. But interpretation of that is important to actually follow in a given situation. So that is very complex. That's why we go learned people. So from time to time, they will assemble and debate on this and then arrive at certain conclusions. So says that dharma, people of vivada darshanat. If one fellow says this is dharma, other fellow says that is dharma, everybody has their own opinion on what dharma is. Do you think that these two kinds of dharma is enough? To us it looks like, because there are so many kinds of dharma that we hear about, looks to us that other than pravritti nivritti, something else also may require for the stability of the universe, looks to us. Therefore, says Bhashyakara, next sentence, Dvido he vedokto dharma pravritti lakshana nivritti lakshanascha. Dvido he only. The Vedic dharma is only twofold, not more. What is the word? Pravritti lakshana, nivritti lakshana. No, that was Bhashyakara's perception. What is the whole Veda? Veda is a huge literature. 100,000 passages are there in the Vedas. What do they teach? Dharma. What kind of dharma? Twofold dharma. Pravritti, nivritti. Karma kanda pravritti lakshana, jnana kanda nivritti lakshana. This is what Vedantin's perception of Veda is. The Mimamsaka has a different perception. Mimamsaka would say that Vedas teaches pravritti. And Jnanam is a means of that. Vedanta says Veda teaches nivritti, Jnanam, and karma is a means. So that's where the debates always go on, And you will see that kind of discussion in Bhagavad Gita and elsewhere also. Meaning that to arrive at the purport of Veda is a very important thing. This is Vedantic purport. that Veda teaches twofold Swatantra Dharma. That there are two adhikaris, Pravritti Lakshana, Karma Kanda is one adhikari, and Jnana Kanda is a different adhikari. There's two different prakaras are there. The Vedas consist of two different prakaranas or sections which are meant for two different kinds of people. That Karma Kanda is meant for one kind of person, Jnana Kanda is meant for other kind of person. And therefore, all the conclusions that you arrived at for Karma Kanda cannot apply to the person. They want to apply it everything to everybody. Mimamsaka says that the whole Veda is one chapter. And there is one adhikari. So, then Vedanta said that no, there are two separate chapters, two adhikaris, two anubandha chatushtaya, and we have to prove that. And then the rules of Karma Kanda cannot be said to apply here. The rules of this one applies. Karma Kanda doesn't accept any sannyasa, but Jnana Kanda accepts it. Those discussions will come, but that is all in mind. Keeping all of that in mind, what's going to come, you can see how the Bhashya is written here. With what in mind? So, Dvivido hi Vedokta Dharma, Veda only teaches twofold Dharma. Pravritti Lakshana, Nivritti Lakshana. Lakshana. So, that which is characterized by Pravritti and Nivritti. Engagement and disengagement. अति प्रसंग अप्रसंग व्यावृत्ते प्रकृतम धर्मम लक्ष्यते. So now lakshana means what? Characteristic. When you definition, when you define something, the definition must be precise. It should not be too general to include more than what you want. See, when you identify something, you must give a description so that only that person or that thing is identified. You should give that description. So, who is she? The woman. Just get from her. There are so many women here. That's too much. So, includes too much. Or you say that this person has, and what shall I say, the one has a ponytail or something, then you may not find anybody there, let us say. So meaning that you should not give a definition that does not include what you want and not define that includes too much. Aprasanga means your definition does not include what you want to convey. Ati prasanga conveys too much. So with a cow, animal with 4 legs, that will include too many things, Ati prasanga. With a cow, that has always 2 horns, there may be cow without horns also, then that doesn't include that. So cow must have a unique characteristic, which is there, I think, in the, what do you call it? Yeah. So that applies to cow, whether you have horn or not horn. You follow? So that is the kind of definition which is given, must only apply to what you want, no more, no less. So similarly, when you give a definition of dharma, should not include too much, should not exclude what you want. So Bhashyakara says, Tatra ekah jagatah sthiti karanam pranina sakshat abhyudaya nishreyasa hetuhu यह सह धर्मः ब्राह्मणाद्यैः वर्णिभिः आश्रमभिश्च श्रेयोर्थिभिः अनुष्ठीयमानः. Okay, go up to that point. So tatra ekah jagatah sthiti karanam. Dharma is one which is the cause of stability of the universe. Prayanam sakshat abhyudaya nishreyasa hetu. So Bhashyakara calls this one dharma, of which pravritti and nivritti stages, not to separate dharma. And sakshat abhyudaya nishreyasa, because human beings are two kinds requiring two things. Everybody is not the same. Most people require abhyudaya, material prosperity. They want kama, they want material happiness. A few of them require moksha, those who have the maturity. So those who have the emotional maturity, they know what they want, but most other people want only they have fascination of material thing, and that also you should provide. So sakshat abhyudaya, this dharma is the means of attainment of material prosperity as well as spiritual prosperity of moksha. So swarga and moksha typically. So dharma, that's called dharma. So dharma is defined, not anything else. This is dharma. Doesn't include too much, doesn't exclude anything. Says, pravritti lakshano dharma abhyudayarthinam sakshat abhyudaya hetuhu. So pravritti means karma kanda. So those who wish the material prosperity of swarga, for them karma kanda is the direct means, provides the direct means for rituals, in terms of rituals, to attain the material prosperity here and hereafter. So not only swarga, here also you want, prosperity. So you want cattle, you want progeny, you want fame. So Veda gives you the karma for all that. Then you want swarga, that also they give you. Nishreyasa hetuhu. And the nivritti lakshana dharma is what? Direct means of nishreyasa or moksha or jnana. That is jnana.
Swamiji, why does he have paramparaya?
Yeah. So, pravritti lakshano dharma paramparaya nishreyasa hetu. Because sakshat what is there? So, pravritti lakshana dharma is not sakshat nishreyasa hetu, paramparaya. Through karma yoga and then prepares you for jnana yoga. So that is the nivritti lakshana dharma sakshadev nishreyasa hetu. Means the dharma of knowledge gives you directly moksha. Karma yoga gives you preparation of moksha, jnana, and then that indirectly becomes means of moksha, and jnana yoga becomes directly the means of moksha. Both are means of moksha. So pravritti and nivritti both are means of moksha. But then who is adhikari depends on what your needs are. So all along that question will be raised in Bhagavad Gita. Both these adhikaris are addressed here. One who is fit for pravritti, other is fit for nivritti. So Arjuna has confusion sometimes. What am I fit for? Why do you tell me to do this, etc.? But then this was told to that, and you think this not. So when you talk to different people. And talking at different levels, looking at different people, you say, when you hear the CD, doesn't know that. He thinks that it's all being told to one person. So he says, why does Swami tell me this? It is not telling somebody else. What I am saying is, it is not clear. Although Lord Krishna will look at Arjuna, but still, Lord Krishna is as though addressing two fellows. One is adhikari for karma yoga, and one adhikari for jnana yoga. Both are addressed there. And therefore Arjuna has confusion. Alright? Evam dharma, if this is the definition of dharma, tari varnitvam ashramitvam ja upeksha sarveva purushartharthivi dvopi dharma yatha yoga anushthayaveti. Alright? If this is what you say is dharma, that's what we will do in our life. Karma yoga and jnana yoga. If this is so, then why do you worry about the Brahmana Kshatriya thing? Let everybody do whatever is right, what they want to do. So, varnitvam ashramitvam cha upeksha. So, not taking into account what varna, what caste to belong, and ashram is brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasa. The thing is that if anybody cannot do everything. Depends on what varna you are and what ashrama you are. That's how it is identified what is right for you. It's not you who decide what is right for you, it's what the scriptures tell you to do. So if you say that dharma is only of the nature of pravritti and nivritti, then anybody can do what he wants to do. Says no, therefore Bhashyakara said, Brahmanadyahi varnibhischa Ashrame Vishya Shreyovi Anushtiyamana. Shreyovi, those who want well-being in their life. There is a third fellow who doesn't follow dharma, but then he doesn't become happy. Those who are seeking of happiness. Brahmanadyehi varnevi ashramavishya. That the dharma is to follow according to varna, meaning the person, it should be clear to the person what he should do. You see, sometimes we cannot decide what is right for us to do. So then Shastra says, what is right for you to do? That depends upon the disposition of mind and your maturity. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra represent the disposition of mind. And Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanprastha, Sannyasa represent maturity of the mind, disposition of mind and maturity of mind. By maturity we mean that how much you have grown in your life. So if you follow dharma properly, then you grow in your inner purification, emotional maturity. Then you prepare for the next stage. So Brahmachari represents, although they say these are 4 ashramas tentatively divided into 4 stages, 25 years each, that's not so. Just because a person is 25 doesn't mean he has completed a stage, he is ready for marriage. Not necessarily. Provided again the emotional maturity for becoming a married person. That parents are not interested, they just want to get them married, that's all. So he's already 25, he should get married. But is he ready for that or not? So as I was listening to these jokes, on our way, and so this marriage is taking place and girl is going to and she's leaving the home and she's crying and weeping. So younger brother asked father, why is my sister weeping? He says, don't worry, she's weeping only up to her threshold. Once she goes out, that fellow will weep, All kind of jokes were going on. He says, mother teaches this man how to talk and wife teaches how to stop, That's all. Whenever Swami feels, then all kinds of things always are there. When I tell a joke, you should know where the source is. So the maturity is required. Just because you get married doesn't mean that it works, So if you are emotionally prepared, then only it works. So therefore, the emotional maturity is recognized in 4 stages, which are the ashrama, the stages of life, and disposition recognized in 4 castes. So it depends on where you are in caste and what stage. Accordingly, what is right for you is decided. That's what the scriptures tell you, that's what you should do. Then only you following your dharma correctly. Otherwise, if you do it, you also are not fit to decide what is right. So what is right for you is decided. How is it decided? By varna and ashrama. So it's not for you to interpret what is right according to what is told by the scriptures. So Chodana Lakshana Dharma. The Mimamsakas are very clear about what is dharma. Chodana Lakshana Dharma. What the Vedas enjoin is dharma. Not what you decide. So you are Brahmana and you are Grihastha, this is a dharma. Brahmana, you are Kshatriya and you are Brahma, this is dharma. Chodana Lakshana means what the Vedas enjoin is dharma. Not what you, sorry, what my voice says, no voice here, no inner voice. What you're told is the right thing to do. That's what it is, Anyway, so.
It's not by birth, right?
Well, it was ideally it was only the disposition of mind. But later on it then became by birth. So even in Veda also it is by birth. Because how do you decide disposition of mind anyway? It's something inside, subjective. How to decide what it is? So you must have an objective criteria to decide what is subjective. The example that I give is, how do you decide that this person is fit for medical school? We have no way of measuring what is inside him. So this he appears for certain tests and that. So then what his scores are, accordingly you judge that it's not necessary that one who scores well is always the most competent, doesn't score. This is not a rule. But generally, The idea is that for deciding the subjective criterion, you have to evolve an objective criteria which is measurable. Similarly, it is not possible to decide what the disposition is, therefore, the nearest objective criteria is birth. The law of karma says that you will born in the right place. So we hope that a person born in Brahmana family has Brahmana disposition. So that's how birth was then taken as the, and of course it doesn't always work. Then you require wise people. Therefore, not only at least in the United States, now in India also in some schools, that not only your criteria in the test, but they will interview you. They ask you to write essays and this, that and what not, and what social work you have done, etc. Plus interview you and see what other qualities you have, because they are also required. So that is how the judgment is made whether he is a good doctor or not. So similarly also, there must be wise people in the society who should keep on checking people as to what their disposition is based on their behavior and evolution and some sensible people must be there, and their freedom to change the varna should be there. There should be ideally freedom to change the varna. Oh, looks like this fellow is a Kshatriya born but looks like a Brahmana. Let him do this. Fellow born Brahmana looks like more Shudra. Let him do that. I mean, anything can happen anywhere. That kind of authority was not there. The rules were there by the Vedas and the Smritis, and rules were just followed to the letter without understanding the spirit. And so it is not possible that law of karma may work all right, but then everybody, as I said, he likes that one and he likes that. So all kinds of things kept on happening from the day one. That not everybody got married in their own caste. They married where they like many times. So in Gujarati they say, Rajana game tarani, chana vinti ani, meaning that who is the queen? What the king likes. So king is going somewhere. He finds a maid, sweeping the floor, and he is beautiful. He picks up and that becomes his queen. So who decides who the queen is? King decides, not anybody else. Anyway, there similarly people should decide where we want to get married. I don't care for your rule, So many people violated the rules and they were outcast and all kinds of problems happened. Anyway, so birth is not an ideal criterion to judge the karma. We don't have any better criterion. But along with birth, some wisdom must be there on the part of some people who keep on monitoring it. It seems to me that monitoring was not there, so it became very rigid. Any system it becomes rigid, always brings about injustice to many people. And it's because everybody can't fit in any system. In democracy, nothing, everybody can't fit anywhere. So you must have. So constitution is there, but amendments must keep on coming. If they don't keep on coming, then that constitution becomes too rigid and too old. Okay. So Brahmanadyehi, Varnabhihi, Ashramishya, Anushthyamana dharma. That is called dharma. Which is pravritti and nivritti, but when does it become dharma? When it is properly practiced in keeping with the injunctions of scriptures by people belonging to appropriate caste and appropriate stage of life. Then that is dharma. That will bring about the shreyas or the well-being of the people. So definition of dharma is given. Says here the Tika, Arthitva Avisheshepi Shruti Smruti Locanaya Anushtanayam Siddhityartha. But how do you decide? So I also want, everybody wants a given thing. So he also wants money, she also wants money, also, no, I'm Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, then, but they should do different things. How? Shruti and Smruti. They must look at the scriptures and what the prescription is there. So that is why Shruti Smruti Paryalochanaya. You must also look into the scriptures and decide what is told for you to do for a given. So even though what is desired is one thing, but desirers being different, they should do different things to achieve the same thing. Meaning that there must be rules which are set by Shruti and Smriti for the Brahmanas and the people to follow, and then they will follow Dharma, and that's how the well-being will be established. All right. Then says, now we are on page 4. Nitya Naimittikeshu. When I read like this, it means it is Tika. When Bhashya, then I will ask you to read with me. When I read myself, then it is only Tika. This looks like voice sensitive. The recorder seems to stop when I am not talking. And anyway, no, you have to read here. No. Yeah, all right. Okay. Now, what do the Shruti Smriti say? What is the person supposed to do? He says, Nitya Naimittikeshu Yavajivam Anushtanam. For everybody, Nitya, Naimittika karma are determined. What is Nitya? What is to be done every day. Naimittika on specific occasions. Every day you follow your puja, etc. And on Purnima, do Satyanarayan Katha, and then on, on what is it, Ekadashi you do this kind of fast, and then Chaturthi you do something else, Ashtami. So that's called Naimittika. Nitya, and over and above that, on Ekadashi you should do something more. On a Purnima you do something more. So Nitya, Naimittikeshu, that has to be done without fail. Yavat, meaning a person is required to perform this dharma when you follow these injunctions as long as he is alive or as long as he is capable. Kamyeshu karanamshe ragadhyana prahotiti. When it comes to kamya karma, desire prompt, those are the karma, your daily and incidental obligatory duties. So everybody is obliged to perform duties, and that alone is called karma. Nitya karma means the duties that you are obliged to perform every day. Like we'll see, 5 yajnas and make offering to rishis and devatas and pitrus, etc. And naimittika means then when Chaturmasa comes and Vasanta comes. So naimittika when specific occasions come, so Darsha Purnamasa, etc. Then you perform specific karma. So that is what we call have to do. Kameshwar, there are also many rituals prescribed for fulfilling your desires. You want progeny, then perform this karma, you want cattle, perform that karma, you want swarga, perform this karma, you want etc. Ragadina pravrittihi, that is not compulsory. So daily and incidental obligations are compulsory for everybody as long as one is alive. As far as desire prompted actions are concerned, it depends upon your desire. So you choose, Shruti isn't you have to do this. Ragadina pravritti iti kartavya. So then when you perform a desire prompted action, that you want progeny, let us say. Some yajna is prescribed. So choice is yours. Raga means your desire that I want this, so you perform. When you perform, then you perform only as they tell you to do, not as you want. When you choose to perform your desire prompted action, kamya karma, you only perform as prescribed by the scriptures, as stipulated by the scriptures. So in that pravritti, see, nitya naimittika karma pravritti is because it is by scriptures that raga dveshas don't come. When it comes to kamya karma, ragadhina, the pravritti is ragadhina, but the way you iti kartavyata, the way you carry out is according to scriptures. So vaidhi. So vidhi means injunctions are there as to how to do. That is the vibhagepi kadachideva anusthana vibhagam abhipretyaha. But then kamya karma is only for some time, but mainly it is the nitya naimittika karma. So Bhashyakara says, Dirghena kalena anushtatrina kamodbhavat hiyamana viveka vijnana hetukena adharmena abhibhuyamane dharme pravardhamane cha adharme. Okay. So dirghena kalena, a long time elapses, time wears out everything, including people's morality. That is why, our Yuga, that's Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, that shows how the time works. In the beginning, people are very pure. In Kruta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Satvikta is predominant. Then comes the Treta Yuga, then Rajas has come. Rajas followed by Sattva. Then Dwapar Yuga comes, so now Tamas has come, Rajas followed by Tamas. And Kali Yuga, Tamas predominates. You see, that's how the Char Yugas are. It is the nature of time to always wear out everything. And therefore, Dharma also will wear out. So, Anushtatrinam kamodbhavat. So, in Satya Yuga, they perform the Dharma very diligently. And even Treta Yuga also perform fairly diligently. But as Dwapar Yuga comes and slowly, people lose. Looseness comes. Every day same thing, I have Swamiji, I go to the kitchen 4:30 in the morning, work for 12 hours a day. Now every day, and slowly, there's nobody at 4:30 and nobody at 12:30 also, so then you go to 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, this, that, whatnot. So what happens is, it is the nature of mind to take liberty. And therefore slowly discipline wears out. So, kamodbhavat, my liberty slowly rises. I take liberties. Then there are temptations, I follow my temptations also. Therefore, kamodbhavat, slowly kama, the lust, the desire, the temptations, they become stronger and stronger. That's how the Kali Yuga ultimately happens. That's how the Kruta Yuga, you can always see the increase of kama or desire or lack of discipline. Personal liberty. From Satya Yuga, you don't have to tell them anything, they'll do it. Treta Yuga, with some telling they do. Dwapar Yuga needs a lot of discipline. Kali Yuga they won't do. Discipline knows, this is how the things work. So kamodbhavat, when kama means kama, krodha, lobha, all these inner enemies, they slowly and slowly become stronger. You become weaker and weaker and you become controlled by them, you lose control over yourself, you get controlled by them. Then I don't decide what I do, my kama krodha decides. Hiyamana viveka vijnana hetukena adharmena. So viveka, vijnana, all of these require a contemplative mind, a disciplined person. And when that becomes loose, the viveka becomes loose. You know what is viveka? What is right and what is wrong. My kama decides what is right and wrong, not my viveka decides. When viveka is there, vairagya also is there. This is right, no, I won't do this. Kama says that is okay. So you do that. So viveka slowly becomes loose, vairagya becomes loose, adharma is waiting. Kama, krodha, etc., adharma is all waiting to enter you. So, adharma, abhibhuyamane dharma, dharma righteousness, self-discipline, self-restraint, slowly and slowly becomes overpowered by a tendency, the looseness, taking liberty, indiscipline, bhoga vritti. And slowly adharma becomes more and more pradvardhamani adharma. Adharma becomes so powerful that dharma becomes just ineffective. So that's what happens. Meaning that usually kamya karma anushtana is more, and nitya nimittika slowly that loses, Actually, nitya naimittika, daily and incidental obligated is the primary thing. And now and then you perform your kamya karma. Slowly kamya karma increases, that becomes lava, and then this becomes predominant. So kama keeps on growing and then adharma spreads. So tikas atha yathokta dharma shadeva jagatah vyaktasthi siddhe bhagavanan adi kartuhu अनिकनर्थ कलुषित शरीर प्रवेश असंवाद अन्यस्यैव कस्यचित् अनाम्नेव निर्गुणनिर्पणयामे. So now Bhashyakara is building background to say that Lord Krishna is incarnation of Lord Narayana. So main thing is to establish who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Narayana himself. Krishna is incarnation of Narayana. How do you say that? So Bhashyakara is building up all to arrive at who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, who is Lord Krishna, who is our incarnation of Narayana, that way is all omniscient, and that way is the Paramapta, that way is the right thing, the right teacher, and that way Gita is Pramana. You see? And that way it's worth commenting about, and worth studying. You follow? That is the whole idea here. In that, all this background is being made here. So says, wait a minute, this dharma will take care. Tikakara is a Purvapaksha. You already established dharma. Dharma will take care. So, dharma yathokta dharma shadeva jagatah vikshita sthiti siddhe. So, dharma pravritti and nivritti and varnashrama, that itself will take care of the steadiness or stability of the creation of the universe. There will be smoothness. Bhagavata Narayanasya Adikartuhu Aneka Anartha Kalusita Sharira Parigraha Asambhavad. Now when Bhagavan Narayana takes incarnation, you take up a material body, no? He has taken up a body which is mortal body, isn't it? He comes to earth, and then earthly body, mortal body. What? Matsya becomes a fish, Kura becomes a tortoise, becomes a boar, becomes a lion. What is this? Now this kind of body, even a human body also. Aneka anartha kalushita sharira parigraha. All these bodies are product of, includes all punya and papa. So, anartha kalushita sharira. This sharira has many limitations. This sharira also has therefore a lot of suffering involved. Moment you undertake the embodiment, it is nothing but suffering. Human life and is animal life also. But human life in particular. So everybody has physical suffering and we have emotional suffering also. So physical suffering all creatures go through. Heat and cold and hunger and thirst and this and that, birth and death. This poor human being also has further suffering in terms of emotional suffering. Sadness and this and that and grief and depression and whatever. So, therefore this body, whatever it is always characterized by a lot of suffering. Why would Narayana, who is there, why would he choose to enter a body which involves a lot of suffering? He would not. Nobody will deliberately want to go into a prison, would you? No. So we do not think that it is Narayana who has entered this human body of Krishna. Cannot be. Somebody else, he must be there. So, anyasya kasachit anaptasya. There was somebody else must have entered this body because Narayana is too smart. Smartness is Narayana. Those fellows are not very smart. Brahmaji and Shivaji are not smart devatas. They are good and generous but not smart. Narayana is smart. So no Rakshasa ever worships Narayana, They always go to Brahma and Shivaji and get what they want. Not here. He won't. Therefore, the smart person will not deliberately enter this prison where a lot of suffering is involved. So we think that is not Narayana, some other person who is much less than Narayana. And only Narayana being perfect. You see, when can you be free from ragadvesha? When you are perfect, when you are complete. Then there is no reason. Otherwise, an incomplete person, inadequate person, always there's raga dvesha. Because I'm a needy person. So whoever looks like a person who satisfies my need, I favor. Who thinks comes in my way, I'm cruel to that. When you Vaishamya, partiality and cruelty is very common trait that everybody has. Anybody who is incomplete is going to have partiality and cruelty. Only Narayana will not have. So we think that somebody other than Narayana, who is not perfect, and therefore has this partiality and cruelty. Because you find partiality for the devatas and cruelty for the asuras. So this is a partial and cruel, this incarnation. Whoever it is not Narayana. Narayana cannot be partial and cruel. Therefore, so anaptasya, this one is not Narayana, not omniscient. Vaishamya nirghunyavataha. And therefore, this one here who is taken incarnation is possessed of the cruelty and partiality. You can see his partiality for Pandavas. You can see his cruelty for Kauravas. Isn't it? Always partiality and cruelty. From the day one, it was Lord Krishna was only 6 days old when Putana came. From that day he started his parakrama. And therefore, cruelty is right there all along. And partiality for all Gopas and everybody else, for all his people. So from the life of Lord Krishna, it is quite clear that he possessed partiality and cruelty. He cannot be Narayana because Narayana cannot be expected to have partiality and cruelty. So somebody else is here. So he cannot be reliable. But one who is his words can be relied upon because that will govern what he says. What a person says is governed by his mind. If in his mind is partiality, then he can't be objective. Then he can't be reliable. So he's somebody other than Narayan, looks to us like Lord Krishna, Nigraha parigraha dvarena Gita Shastra pranayanam. So what you do? Nigraha and parigraha. So those towards whom you are cruel, you control them, restrain them. Those from your partial, you give them freedom. And therefore, this is what we find. Gita Shastra Pranam. And so this Gita Shastra also promotes only controlling or restraining those who are evil or those whom he doesn't like and favors those whom he likes. So that seems to be the teaching of Gita Shastra. Because what you teach is what comes out of you. So what is inside is what comes out. If inside is this parigraha and nigraha etc., then what else is going to happen? So is this reliable? That's the question here. Kuta asyapta pranitatvam. On what ground do you claim that Gita is a teaching of apta or the most trustworthy? From his conduct, Lord Krishna doesn't look like one. From his life doesn't look like one. So how do you say that is Narayana's incarnation? So the Bhashyakara said, Anusthatrinam kamodbha, we already read all that. So what Bhashyakara says is how situation warranted Adikarta Narayana to take incarnation. So let us read that sentence further in second line. Jagataha स्थितिं परिविपालेषु सह आदिकर्ता नारायणाख्यः विष्णुः भौमस्य ब्रह्मणः ब्राह्मणत्वरक्षणार्थं देवक्यां वसुदेवाद अंशेन कृष्णः किल संबभूव. So when it was found that dharma cannot anymore maintain the order in the society, Because dharma has been highly overpowered by adharma, and adharma means disorder. Therefore, you require somebody very powerful to bring the order into the system. Therefore, jagatah sthitim parivipaleshu. So, paripalatam ichu. Lord Narayana, who is desirous of protecting the sthiti or the steadiness or the harmony or order of the universe. So Adikarta, nobody else. Adikarta Narayana. The prime mover, the prime creator, not in between other creators. So there are creators also of different kinds. He himself created Prajapati, they are also creators. They also, so there is a line of creators, including our parents also. I mean, creator is not one, understand? There is a whole series of creators, you understand? Just a teacher is not one. There is a parampara. So in our Puranas, creator also is a parampara. You say Prajapati also is Brahma creates Prajapati and that creates this and that's how. So many creators are there. So is Narayana, one of those creators I think, one of the Prajapati, no, Adikarta. The prime creator who created all the creators, not some other lower creator, Adikarta, Narayanakhya, whose name is Narayana, who is well known as Narayana. So Narayana is known as Adikarta. Who is Vishnu? In case you have some, Vishnu, one who is all pervasive, that Vishnu, that is Narayana, the prime mode of prime creator. Bhaumasya brahmana brahmanattvasya rakshanartham. Bhaumasya brahmana. Now this is very interesting. Says Bhashyakara, who is the Brahmana? Bhaumasya Brahmana. He is the Brahman manifest on earth. Who is the Brahmana? No, for that we have to go to what we studied. We are in the Bhashya camp, we just studied. That the creator is Brahma. He himself is born as Brahmana. So Brahma is pure. So first in the Devatas also there are castes. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and according to their caste in the human beings. So the Brahmana among Devatas, Agni is the Brahmana among Devatas. So when Brahmaji manifested Agni, he without any modification or change manifested Agni, meaning that Agni represents the pure Brahma, pure Brahman. And similarly also on the earth, same Agni manifests Brahma as Brahmana. So Brahmana represents Brahman. So Agni is the Brahman in heaven and Brahmana is the Brahman on the earth. So Bhaumasya Brahmana. So Bhashyakara only writes what the scripture says, it's not his. People say, look, he is so orthodox and it's this, but he just repeats. So Brahmana de varni arthibhischa. So this varna ashrama bhi, varna and ashram is all scripture says. Nityanam, he doesn't say that. So Upanishad has said it. That Brahmana is the Brahman manifest on earth. And therefore, Brahmanatva Rakshanartham, if you protect him, everything becomes protected. What happens when a dharma comes? The Brahmanatva of that Brahmana itself becomes damaged. So Brahmana should remain Brahmana. And that requires him to be highly disciplined and everything, but then if Brahmana also slowly becomes loose, then he loses Brahmanatvam. He is Brahmana in the birth also, was alright in the form, but as far as spirit is concerned, the Brahmatva is not there. So Brahmanatva Rakshanartham. That Brahman who is manifested as Brahman on the earth, to protect his Brahmanatvam. That was the primary thing. Devakyam, Vasudevas, Amshena, Krishna, Kilasambhavua. Lord Narayana, who is Vishnu, who is Adikarta, Sambhavua. Samyak Bhavua, very well means incarnated. Sambhavami yuga yuga, Lord Krishna is not Bhavami, Sambhavami. The Jivatma is born. The avatar is born in an excellent way. See, when we are born, where our birth is and what our body is all decided by our karma. We do not have freedom to decide where I will be born. and what embodiment I will have. My karma decides. Not so in case of Narayana, when he takes incarnate, he decides where he will be born, what his body will be, what his karma will be, everything he decides. Meaning that avatar is not product of karma. See, birth is normally a product of karma. How about avatar? He is also born. Looks like born of Devaki. He says, no. It is not product of karma, it is product of his sankalpa. So Lord, by his sankalpa, he takes the incarnation as he chooses. So, what is sankalpa? Brahmana, brahmanatvasya rakshanatham. For protecting Brahmanness, Brahmana over Brahmana. Devakyam Vasudevad Amshena. He is born of Devaki, born of Vasudeva through Devaki. Born of Vasudeva through Devaki. So as our Swami would say, what is Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sannitam. What is Vasudeva stands for? Sattvam Vishuddha Sattva. For pure mind. That's Devaki, Devatamai. And Devaki stands for all the divine attributes. So when that is there, that is when the incarnation takes place. So they explain. But Vasudeva Amshena, here is physical Vasudeva and Devaki are there. And because son is the fraction and Amsha of the father. Or the Narayana Amsha. So Lord Krishna is Amsha. Now this is a little Amsha word is a little disturbing here. They call it Amsha Avatar and Purna Avatar, etc. So in Avatar there are a lot of discussions are there. And Amsha Avatar means what? Only one part of the Lord got incarnated. Like Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa is not the full Avatara. He doesn't have all the powers of Narayana. Who is full Avatara? One who has all the powers of Narayana. Shad Aishwarya. As Bhashya will explain. Jnana, Aishwarya, Shakti, Bala, Virya, Tejas. One who possesses all of these in total measure is called Purna Avatara. Amsha Avatara means some Jnanam is there. But not Shakti. Vedavyasa can't create and he can't control things. He can't fight, etc. Somewhere the Shakti is there. Then Jnana, other Tejas means somewhere Tejas is there. So these are all his 6 Aishwaryas. When all of them are manifest in total measure is the Purna Avatara. When some of them are measured in some measure, some of these in some measure is called partial incarnation. So when Bhashyakara is not Amsha, it means partial incarnation. So we'll see what Tikakara has to say. Krishna Kira Sambhavuva. So let Tika. Athva yathokta shankayam dīganiti ārabhya uttaram. So what is Shanka? Shanka was that to us it looks like the Lord Narayana cannot enter this human body which is full of all kinds of sufferings. So somebody else must have entered. So either you can say that that's what Bhashyakara describes here, or maybe Dirghena Kalena is answer to the doubt. So Mahata, Dirghena Kalena what? Mahata Kalena Krutatretatyai Dvaparavasane Sadhakanam Kama Krodadi Purvakad Avivekad Adhana Bahulyad Dharma Abhibhavat. Same sentence explained. Dirghena Kalena means what? A long time. Mahata Kalena. What is the Mahata Kalena? Kruta Treta Atyay. The Kruta Yuga is gone. Longest Yuga is Kruta Yuga. Shortest is Kali Yuga. 432,000 years is Kali Yuga. 864,000 is Dwapar Yuga. 1200 and what is it? 1364 or something is the Treta Yuga. And 1760 I think is the Satya Yuga. So total it is 300.4 million or something like that. That's the 3.2 million. 3.2 million. So it's 10 times. 320,000 Kali Yuga. Twice that Dwapar Yuga. Thrice that Treta Yuga. Twice, that's 4 times. And so that's how it becomes 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 becomes 10. Yes, so Dwapar Yuga is twice Kali Yuga Treta Yuga is 3 times Kali Yuga and Kruta Yuga is 4 times Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is 1, Dwapar is 2, makes it what? 3. Treta is 3, makes it what? 6. And Satya is 4, makes it 10. So total 4 Yuga is what? 10 times Kali Yuga. So 4.32 million years. It's a long time. That's why I say that when all this, so Kruta Yuga is gone, then Treta Yuga is gone, Dwapar Yuga is almost the end. When Mahabharata took place, even Dwapar Yuga is said Dwapar Avasane. So Dwapar Yuga is essentially over. Sadhakanam Kama Krodadi Purvakat. By then the Tamoguna has come, Rajoguna is predominant, Tamoguna has come, Kali Yuga is slowly exercising its influence, and therefore, even though sadhakas, Kama Krodadi Purvakat, the Kama Krodha has become predominant, so Avivekad, they control, they rule the roast, they call it Aviveka. Satya Yuga is required, Sattva, Tva rule Viveka. When this Rajas Tamas comes, then Aviveka. Adhana Bahulyat, Aviveka decides what to do, what not to do, is adharma. When you are wrong, Aviveka means wrong decision, wrong understanding. There will be only wrong behavior. Therefore, the Adhana Bahulyat, adharma, disorder, Bahulyam, the predominance. Dharma Abhivavat, for dharma, righteousness is overpowered by unrighteousness. Adharma Abhivruddha, let it be so, what's wrong with it? Let adharma prevail. He says, no. Adharma Abhivruddhescha Jagadha Maryada Vede. When adharma, no Maryada will be. What is Maryada? The Varna and Ashrama. Adharma means what? Slowly liberty increases, Kama increases. And so people like to do what they want to do. So Brahmana says, no, this is no good, I like to marry that, then I would like to do this. So the Vaishya, he gets more money, I want to do. And therefore Varna and Ashrama. Once Kama comes, see, as long as Dharma is predominant, so long people are motivated to follow what is right for them. When desire, when Kama, Artha Kama are predominant, the Dharma gets then sacrificed, then there is competition, then there people want to do what somebody else does, and so no Vyavastha remains, no order remains. And so the fellow working in the kitchen, I want to do the puja, and then that fellow says, I want to do sweeping, and that's what will happen. Because person is not prepared for what is required to do. If Pandita can do what he is required to do, provided he has spent all the time and he has not done it. So he says, I am good for this work, he likes to do sweeping. The sweeper has spent a lot of time, I don't know. So that is how Dharma doesn't remain, Varnashram, nothing remains. Therefore, Jagada Maryada Vede. When Maryada means when all these boundaries are not retained, then the boundaries are overcome or they are violated. Tadiyam Maryadam Atmanirmitam Palatum Icchan. So Lord says, hey, what I have created is now getting destroyed. So he is concerned, therefore he himself, who has created the Maryada? See, in the Prajapatis, etc., all that, one who has created Dharma is Bhagavan Narayana himself. As Swami says, that used to say, that Lord is manifest as order. So when you follow the order of Dharma, then automatically you are a devotee of the Lord. That's how he simplified the whole thing. What you call order of Dharma is manifestation of the Lord. So Lord is manifest as Dharma. When he sees the order is being compromised and violated, then what he has done is violated. So he has to himself come down now to set everything in order. The Prakrutah Bhagavan etadarthena chaturvanyadi samrakshanartham. So what is Maryada? Boundaries. This caste and state of life define boundaries, that you are here, you are there, you are there, you do this, you do this. He has to come back and again re-establish these boundaries. Therefore, Leelamayam Maya Shakti Prayuktam Svecha Vigram Jagraha ityartha. So here Amshena is explained as by his own Maya, Amshena Svecha Nirmitena Mayamayena Swarupena. So it is not that Lord Krishna is only Amsha Avatara. He is Purna Avatara. Then why does Bhashyakara use Amsha? So says Tika, Svecha Nirmitena Mayamayena Swarupena. Amsha is Sankalpa. So by his own Sankalpa, by his own Maya, he has created this body for himself. Leela Vigraham, Maya Shakti Prayukta. Created Maya, Svecha Vigraham. He decided what kind of body he wanted to have. Accordingly, it's not that somebody has given him or he is forced to enter there. Bhaumasya Brahma Gupte Vasudeva Ajijanat is Smriti Manusmritya. Where did Bhashyakara get this? Bhaumasya Brahmanaha Brahmanatva Rakshanadam quotes here. Bhaumasya Brahmana Gupte for protecting the Brahman. Brahmana, who is the embodiment of Brahman on the earth, for protecting him, Vasudevat Ajijanat. That Lord was born through Vasudeva. Kila Sambhavu. What is Kila? Kila iti yasmin arthe Pauranike Prasiddha. Bhashyakara says that I am saying this as stated in the Puranas. Meaning that this is not my own thing. This is what the Puranas describe. It is well known. It is well known that this is how things were. Nai Bhagavata Vidiriktasya idam janayujyate bahuvida aga virodariva. Meaning that somebody's contention that Lord Krishna is someone other than Narayana, he says when you say that, you are contradicting so many scriptures. Not in one place. In not only Bhagavatam or Mahabharata, in many places, it is described how Lord Krishna was the incarnation of Narayana. So therefore we are accepting it. If you don't accept it, you will contradict what is stated in many scriptures. I'll read the last line here. No. Now we are completing this after reading this last line. Vaidika dharma samrakshanartham bhagavato janma yada yada dharmascha ityadi darshanat. Hey, but Lord Krishna says that yada yada dharmascha glani bhavati. Whenever dharma declines and dharma becomes powerful, that's when I take the incarnation. So purpose of incarnation of the Lord is for protecting dharma. We take it as Brahmana. You say that Lord Krishna's avatara is for protecting the Brahmaness of the Brahman. Where did you get that? His incarnation, by his own words, the incarnation is for protecting dharma. Kimadam Brahmanatvasya Rakshanardham. On what basis do you say that the incarnation is for protecting not dharma but the Brahmaness? How do you say that? So Bhashyakara says in the last sentence, Brahmanatasya he rakshanena rakshitasya vaidiko dharma tat adhinatvat varnashrama vedana. Brahmanatasya, only when Brahmanatvam means what? Brahmaness. The true nature of Brahmana, when it is protected, means when the Brahmana acts as a Brahmana. When Brahmana lives his life as a Brahmana, then automatically everything will be taken care of. That's what Bhashyakara says. Brahmanatvasya rakshitena. When Brahmanatva meaning when a Brahmana, the right condition is created for a Brahmana to follow his dharma. So what the Lord had to do was to create the right conditions for people to practice dharma, those who wanted to practice. A dharma became so powerful that even those who wanted to practice dharma also could not practice. As you seen, listen to Purana, Rakshasas became so powerful that they would deliberately interrupt. They would not allow any rishis, even Vishwamitra also could not perform his yaga. And so these Tataka and Maricha and they will come in, okay, all kinds of stuff they will throw in the fire and pollute it. So you have to create conditions where Brahmanas can do what they are required to do, then automatically everything else will take care of. So Brahmanatvasya Rakshanena, by protecting the Brahmanatvam, the Brahmanness of the Brahmana, Vedika Dharma Rakshasasyat. The Vedic Dharma will be automatically protected. Why? Tat adhinatvat varnashrama. Because it is Brahmana who teaches Dharma. So what's the role of Brahmana? Studying the scriptures and teaching them and practicing them. Shamo, damaha, tapaha, shaucham, kshantihi, arjavam. Shantirajam evacha. Shamo, damas, tapashaucham, kshantirajam evacha. Jnanam, vijnanam astikyam. Jnanam, vijnanam astikyam. So Jnanam is learning, Vijnanam is practicing. So Brahmana is embodiment of Dharma. So he studies Dharma and he practices that, he becomes a role model. Because what he does is in accordance with Dharma. So therefore, Brahmanatvasya rakshitena rakshitasyat Vaidiko Dharma tad adhinatvat varnashrama dharma. All the divisions of caste and ashramas, all of them depend upon Dharma. And Dharma depends upon the Brahmana. Therefore, Lord wants to protect the Brahmana. Go Brahmana hitaya, Jagat hitaya Krishnaya. So he is a protector of Go and Brahmana. Then everything else will be taken care of. When you protect Go, Yajna will be protected. Because cow is the focus of Yajna. See, cow, the female cow, gives us all the material for offering in the yajna, including the male cow also. So between two of them, the male cow for farming gives all the grains, female cow gives milk and milk products. So they form the ahutis that are offered to devatas. Then alone devatas will get their ahutis, and that's how they'll be strong, and that's how the whole universe will function. Yajna will take place. So yajna totally depends upon Go. If there is no Go, there is no Yajna. And the whole universe is a product of Yajna. Yajna bhoti parijanya. So Yajna, karma samudva. So when Yajna is there, Parjanya is there, Annam is there, Projan is there, universe is there. So says here Tikakara, Athabi varnashrama veda vyavasthapanam vina katham yathodam rakshanam. See, just because you protect the Brahmana, how do you protect Dharma? You have to actually establish and set up the Varna and Ashrama system properly. Says, tadadhinatvad varnashrama bhedanam. Says, Brahmane purodhaya kshatradi pratishtham pratipadyate. Again coming to that same section of our Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where it said that Brahmana is of course the Shrestha. But when it comes to Rajasu Yajna, Brahmana established Kshatriya on a higher level. In Rajasu Yajna, he sits at a lower level and says, Tvam Brahma. Hey, you are Brahma. One's own Brahmanhood is given to Kshatriya. How long? As long as Rajasu Yajna lasts. When that is over, then again Kshatriya, when they are now going, then Brahmana is always kept in the front and Kshatriya follows him. So Brahmanami Purodhaya. Brahmana always kept in front, Purohita. One who always looks at the Hita also, one who is kept in the front, that's called Purohita. Somebody explained that one who sees the hitam or well-being of his host, etc., that's the meaning that somehow, but grammatically, Purohita is placed in the front. So Brahmana Purodhaya, Kshatradi Pratishtham, the only Kshatriya is respected only when he respects Brahmana. Yajana Adhyapana Yoho Tad Dharmatvat. Brahmana can do 6 things. Pathanam Pathanam, study and teaching. Yajanam Yajanam. So, conducting yajna and officiating yajna. Performing yajna and officiating yajna. and dhanam parigraha, giving charity and accepting charity. The 6 things only Brahmana can do. Other people, Pathanam all right, Kshatriya, but not Pathanam. He can study Vedas, he cannot teach Vedas. He can perform yajna, he cannot officiate yajna. He can give dhanam, he cannot take dhanam. So, teaching, and how do you perform any ritual unless you are a priest? Only Brahmana can be the priest. And who will teach you Veda? Only Kshatriya. Where will you get knowledge? From Brahmana. So therefore, yajana adhyapanayo tad dharmatva, yajana adhyapanayo tad dharmatvat. Only Brahmana is qualified for officiating a yajna and for teaching the scriptures. Tad dharmatvat, tad dvara. That's how the Kshatriyas will learn what the dharma is and how to practice it. So, tad dvara cha varnashrama vyavasthapana. That's how all varna and ashramas know what the dharma is and how to conduct it. And so by taking care of Brahmana, the whole society will be taken care of. Therefore, the primary purpose of Lord Krishna's avatar also is to protect all rishis, Brahmanas. Lord Rama also did that. Atah Brahmanya rakshite sarvapi surakshitam bhavati. Therefore, Brahmanyam, when the Brahmanness of a Brahmana is protected, everything remains protected. So that is how here, so far, Bhashya established how Lord Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Narayana. Who is Lord Narayana? Adikarta, the prime mover, prime creator. And therefore he is the maker. Therefore he is what? Omniscient, omnipotent. And therefore he is the right one to teach the Gita Shastra. So he is the Apta and the Gita Shastra is Pramanam. He'll continue, but so far establish how Lord Krishna is the incarnation of Lord Narayana. Okay. Otherwise they all fall asleep, so we have to stop someplace. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Just to be seated, Swamiji, I will say a few words to.
Yes. So be seated. Yep.
First of all, we want to thank Swamiji and to come and teach us, continue to teach us this class.